Hello everyone, I'm your digital host, Tatyana White. Welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, the one-stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week, including an update on the killing of Charlie Kirk, an update on a deadly Morgan County police chase, the last known video of missing Huntsville realtor Ronald Dumas Jr. was released, a verdict was found in the case of a former Oakwood University basketball assistant coach who was accused of murder. People are protesting for August Borden. A street is being named after Steve Perkins today, and much more. I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend so far. Let's get into this weekend's recap. One of the top news stories this week was in Utah, where political activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking at a college campus. During a speaking event at Utah Valley University, a gunman from 200 yards away from a rooftop fired a single shot, hitting Kirk in the neck. Kirk was immediately rushed to the hospital but died from his injuries. Kirk was a conservative activist and co-founder of the youth organization Turning Point USA. He made frequent appearances on college campuses, engaging in political dialogue with students and others. He was in the middle of debating someone over gun violence when he was shot. As this was all unfolding, lawmakers from Alabama and all over the country were taking to social media reacting to the news. 48's Nick Ballinger shares lawmakers' reactions after yet another act of political violence.
It's a wound to democracy itself.
As the news of conservative activist Charlie Kirk's assassination began reaching the House and Senate chambers, reactions from lawmakers across the country came shortly after. President Donald Trump, who experienced 2 assassination attempts himself, the first to break the news of his death, saying on Truth Social, quote, "He was loved and admired by all, especially me." The known right-wing commenter's death also garnering attention from former President Joe Biden, saying, quote, "There is no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now." From back home, Representative Dale Strong telling 48 News in a statement, quote, "I am praying for the Kirk family and all those who loved him. The horrific political violence we witnessed today has no place in the United States." Political analyst Wayman Burke says political violence has always been present but has only ramped up.
We don't want a lawless society where people feel fearful of speaking their mind.
This is yet another political assassination in our country over just the past year.
Probably makes some people more fearful to be involved in the process or show up to political events and so forth.
Burke says Kirk's roots of having conversations with people who disagree with him were exactly what politics should be.
I hope it doesn't stifle that open, honest debate that people can have about what policies you may favor or disfavor. What this person who committed this murder did was to shortcut all of that, of course.
In Huntsville, students at UAH gathered to remember Charlie Kirk's life and prayed for him and his grieving family during a ceremony Thursday morning. 48's Noah Cowell was at the ceremony at UAH and shares more on these students' reaction to Kirk's death.
Dozens of UAH students and others from different schools and local groups all came together this afternoon and prayed through the pouring rain. Their main focus was on praying for everyone involved and for this political violence to come to an end. The UAH branch of Turning Point USA organized today's prayer vigil. Turning Point USA is an organization that Kirk co-founded. Prayers focused on the well-being of Kirk's wife and 2 young kids, and for the freedom of speech, something visitors from Republican groups say Kirk advocated for.
We had prayers for return to civil discourse in America. We had prayers for the continuation of the work and the great effort that Charlie has put in. We also had an opportunity to kind of get together and just share a little bit about what he actually meant to us as far as being the voice of a young generation of conservatives and civil leaders.
Students from UAH and nearby universities expressed the impact they say Kirk had on millions of people. But more than anything, they say this was about a tragic loss, regardless of what political views you may have.
If we disagree on something, that's okay. We can let truth win out the day, and whatever is right will come out. But it doesn't mean we start attacking each other and hurt each other. That's where it gets wrong.
No matter what political stance you have about this, whatever you may feel about this, first and foremost, just let people grieve. This is a tragic loss of life.
The FBI is currently offering a $100,000 reward for anyone who can offer any information that will lead to the arrest of the man who suspectedly killed Kirk. Now, I talked to a former FBI agent, Cecil Moses, today, and he says that the suspect did leave quite a trail, and he expects him to be found within the coming days. Reporting in Huntsville, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
Authorities announced on Friday that they had a suspect in custody for the killing of Charlie Kirk. Authorities have identified the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. They said they also found evidence that Robinson had earlier expressed to his family his opposition to the viewpoints of Kirk. And we have a 48 News update. The man accused of leading police on a high-speed chase in Morgan County last weekend, then crashing into a car full of teenagers, is out of the hospital and was booked into jail on Thursday. Archie Hale now faces a murder charge. 48's Kelly Neese was the only reporter who was there as Hale was brought to the Morgan County Jail by ambulance, and she shares more on this developing story.
Archie Hale came into the jail in an ambulance on a stretcher, complete with a hospital gown and handcuffs. This is video you will only see here on 48. You can see the door of the ambulance open before law enforcement remove Hale. Shortly after, they closed the garage door on me. Huntsville police officials say that Hale is being held without bond on a murder charge. He is also facing numerous charges for the chase that led up to the deadly crash, including drug possession, attempting to elude, DUI, reckless endangerment, and several moving violations. This investigation is ongoing. This afternoon, police officials announced that the intersection where the deadly wreck happened, Highway 31 and Main Street, will be closed for a few hours Sunday morning. This is so investigators can go in and investigate without having to worry about traffic. Reporting in Decatur, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Hale's transfer to jail comes as students in the Hartselle community gathered to remember the life of a 17-year-old victim. Tristan Hollis's funeral was held on Thursday. Hollis and 3 other teens were rushed to the hospital after a police chase left I-65 and entered onto Main Street before the suspect collided with the teen's car. His family and friends remember Tristan as a loving and polite young man who had just received his driver's license over the summer. This week, we took a closer look at the last known video of missing Huntsville realtor Ronald Dumas Jr. Dumas has not been seen since December 15th. His family hopes this video will be a tipping point that helps bring him home. Dumas's family spokesperson Troy Stiles told 48 News that the family is doing everything in their power to bring Ronnie home. He says the video might help spark someone's memory of that night. On your screen, you can see the last known footage of Dumas. It was taken around 10:15 p.m. on the night of December 15th. His car was found abandoned on I-40 outside of Memphis the following day. You can see him enter the Mid-City liquor store with Kalisha McKinney and right after Sabrina Chambers, who authorities said were both known as prostitutes. Later in the video, you can see Dumas on the phone and then he walks out the store with the 2 women. We know from testimony Dumas later got in a car with Chambers and another suspect, Carissa Cash. Cash and Chambers are still wanted in connection with this case, and there's been no sign of either woman so far. McKinney was found dead of a drug overdose in Memphis about a month after Dumas's disappearance. Stiles told 48 News this search hasn't been easy on the family.
Ronnie just had a birthday. He would have turned 38 this birthday. So, the kids are back to school, trying to be normal. But they're struggling. It's very difficult for them not to know where he is.
The other 2 suspects in the case are Kiera Clark and Quintarius White. Clark has already been seen in front of a judge here in Huntsville, while White remains in a jail in Shelby County, Tennessee. HPD, along with the family, is asking anyone with information to call in a tip. And a former Oakwood University basketball coach is free after a jury found her not guilty of murder on Thursday. Kashana Strong was charged for shooting and killing Antonio Robinson during a fight 3 years ago. You could hear a collective exhale from the entire room when the verdict was read. Cries of mourning rang out from Antonio Robinson's family, while instantly Kashana Strong's father collapsed to the floor. Strong's father experienced a medical emergency and was escorted to the hospital by paramedics. She left the courthouse to go straight to the hospital, but but not before she told 48 News how she felt God had blessed her with a not guilty verdict. The trial lasted 4 days with testimony from several experts and one key witness, Tatyana Eldridge. She was also Strong's romantic partner at the time of the shooting and shared a child with Robinson. She told the court that Robinson had been violent toward them before and that she had a restraining order against him. Strong spoke with 48 News briefly before going to be with her father at the hospital, and she said she is excited to see her daughter.
Well, first I'm going to go to the hospital, check on my dad, and I'm going to hug my daughter so tight, and I'm never going to let her go.
Strong's defense attorney Carl Cole said he felt all the anxiety leave his body as he and Strong have known each other for nearly a decade. Now to an update you'll only find right here on 48 News. People have been demonstrating outside Deschler High School all week long, calling for more accountability to be taken after a student was found with a skull fracture on campus last month. Nikki Vaughn has been standing outside of the school for the past 2 weeks with a sign that reads, "Take accountability, #Justice for August." Vaughn says she felt compelled to do something after seeing pictures of August Borden's injuries. He still doesn't remember what happened to him that day, but investigators are still searching for clues. Borden was rushed to the hospital where he was unconscious for 2 days before he was finally able to return home. While some have been supportive of her cause, she says others are unhappy with her protests, but she said she wants to stand out there in support of August and his family.
August is still here with us, thank God, but he can't be out here, but I can. So I want to do whatever I can do to bring awareness and stand on the front lines when this family cannot, because they're at home taking care of August when he should be out there on that football field right now practicing with his teammates.
This is still a very active investigation being led by the Madison County District Attorney's Office. We will keep you updated right here on WAFF as we learn more about this situation. And today at 5 p.m., a dedication ceremony will take place to rename a street in honor of Steve Perkins, who was fatally shot outside his home on Ryan Drive by Decatur police officer Mac Marquette on September 2023 during a dispute with the tow truck driver. The street name ceremony will take place today at the intersection of Ryan Drive and Pool Valley. Steve Perkins' widow, Katrina Perkins, said after the dedication ceremony, there will be a balloon release, and she encourages people to wear Steve Perkins t-shirts or red and black. Marquette's murder trial for allegedly killing Perkins is currently scheduled for November. And coming up after the break, a look into one woman who is helping enrich the lives of young Black women entrepreneurs and HBCU students, 2 women who are helping people learn to take care of their health naturally. A sneak peek into stories coming up in our evening newscast, giving a look into some great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend. All that and more when we come back. Hello everyone and welcome back to the 48 Recap. A Queenpreneurs Plan is hosting an inspiring event that's all about celebrating and empowering Black women entrepreneurs. The 4th annual Dare to Dream Awards will take place on Saturday, September 20th in Huntsville, and a Queenpreneurs Plan founder, Latoya Whitfield, joined 48 Now to share more about the impacts of the awards and how the community can be a part of it. Whitfield said this is more than an award ceremony, but it is a night dedicated to honoring Black women visionaries while planting seeds of hope in the lives of HBCU women entrepreneurs, high school and young Black girls in creative fields. Whitfield said she overall wants to see unity to close the wealth gap for Black entrepreneurs.
You know, unity. When we talk about the audience that we serve, Black women entrepreneurs, it could make people feel that they are excluded in some way. But we want people to know that no matter what your race is, no matter who you are, no matter what you look like, if you believe that we should be closing the gap of 61% of Black women self-funding, we encourage you to come and partner with us because we cannot do it alone, and we still need other allies and people that believe in what we're doing. I absolutely do not like the fact that racism even exists. And so it's an important topic to discuss that unity is what we're striving for.
Although tickets for this year's Dare to Dream Awards are sold out, Whitfield encourages people to still support and partner with the Queenpreneurs Plan and Dare to Dream Awards through sponsoring or donating. The Dare to Dream Awards is still accepting sponsors, and Whitfield said they would like to raise at least $3,500 by September 15th to contribute to the goal of raising $11,000 for the 2026 Queenpreneurs Plan scholarship recipients. To learn more ways to get involved with the Queenpreneurs Plan and ways to connect with LaToya Whitfield, the full 48 Now interview is available at WAFF.com under the Digital Shows tab. And Phil Great Alabama hosted a free community health event in Huntsville this morning, which was designed to empower people with simple science-backed tools to take control of various health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, migraines, and more. Physician, speaker, and metabolic health consultant Dr. Tiffany Marie Hendricks and nurse diabetes educator and entrepreneur Yvette Oxford joined 48 Now to share more about the importance of hosting this free health event for the community. Although the event has ended, they shared great health tips on managing health conditions naturally. And their goal is to empower people to know what to advocate for when it comes to their health when talking to their doctors.
Say when you give people too much, they start to feel overwhelmed. So I like to say this on my lives is just try this out and see if I'm wrong. Go to a restaurant. Instead of putting your hand in the bread basket or the chips, I want you to actually get a side salad or veggies, because what we find is the order of food really matters. Those carbohydrates shoot up your dopamine, have you on the high, you're with your friends, you're with your partner. Don't add juice or a soda or an alcoholic drink. It's over. Now your sugar's high, and then when your insulin comes up because you have insulin resistance, these are people I'm talking to, it shoots that down so quickly, dopamine falls, you're feeling horrible. And you end up reaching for more chips or some more bread. Then you go to the menu, you order more food, you order dessert, stuff you would not have been doing. So I say, try this out, do the salad, do maybe the side veggies. You may look like a riddle with your friends. When you go home, you actually might feel less puffy. So that's one of the tips I usually tell people to try to do things that way.
Small changes. What do dogs do when they're sick? They fast. And what do they teach us to do? Medicate. So we're trying to get people to recognize signs, symptoms, and a way to reverse naturally.
Yes, they shared some great tips on taking care of your health, and if you missed out on today's event, they plan on hosting many more, and they all have social media accounts where they post frequent health tips. So to hear more from Dr. Tiffany and Yvette Oxford, the full 48 Now interview is available along with their social media information on WAFF.com. And a few stories to look up for coming up in our evening newscast. A player was lifted to an ambulance on a stretcher during the West Morgan versus Priceville game last night. But we have a positive update to share today. West Morgan High School's Facebook page shared an update early this morning saying Cole Thorne suffered a brain bleed during the game. A surgeon was able to thankfully stop that bleeding, and he's expected to make a full recovery. Thorne is a senior linebacker for the Rebels. Our sports reporter on the field said he went down during the second quarter. The school and team continue asking for prayers for Thorne, as it could take several days for the swelling in the brain to decrease. And early this morning in Limestone County, a man was killed in a single vehicle crash. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency said the crash occurred around 2:26 a.m. this morning, claiming the life of 48-year-old Jeremy Patrick. Authorities said Patrick was fatally injured when the car he was driving left the roadway, struck a ditch, and then an embankment. Patrick was pronounced dead at the scene. The crash happened on US 72 near Shaw Road in Limestone County. Troopers are currently investigating this crash. Tune into our evening newscast to hear more details on these stories and many others. And if you're looking for a good event to check out in the area this weekend, you can celebrate the flavors of fall at Hops and Harvest, which is a festive outdoor evening at the Huntsville Botanical Garden, happening today from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. This event blends seasonal charm with the energy of live music, local craft beer, and good company. There will be beer samples to try and fall fun with classic contests like Stein holding a simple relay game and a costume contest. Seating will be available in the amphitheater, and guests are encouraged to bring picnic blankets or lawn chairs. Tickets can be purchased at hsvbg.org. And there's also a Rocket City Toy and Comic Expo happening right now until 5 p.m. and also tomorrow from 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the JC Community Building. Entry is $5 and kids 12 years old and younger are free. There will be over 50 vendors from across the Southeast with vintage and modern toys, comics, and Pokemon. So go out and relive your childhood and add to your collection with their amazing selection of toys and comics. Also happening right now is the Tennessee Valley Hunting and Fishing Expo. It will be going on until 8 p.m. tonight, and it will start back up tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This expo is a weekend of entertainment that is designed for outdoor enthusiasts of all ages. Guests can enjoy hundreds of door prizes, Twiggy the water skiing squirrel, product demonstrations, guest speakers, seminars, and more. Single-day tickets are available in person or online at tvhfe.com. And there are just some great events happening in the city and surrounding areas this weekend, also including the Rocket City Trash Pandas game against the Chattanooga Lookouts tonight and tomorrow, and the Huntsville City FC versus New York Red Bulls 2 also playing tonight. So be sure to go out and enjoy some of these fun events, and also check out Huntsville.org's event tab and WeAreHuntsville.com's event calendar to see more events happening in the area this weekend and throughout the week. That's all I have today for the 48 recap. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune into 48's Weather Extra segments. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Forecaster Jada Russell will join you all here at 4:30 today for another edition of Weather Extra. And this is just another way to give you all extra insights on the latest weather forecast. Make sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channels so you don't miss any news or weather updates. And if you would like to stay connected with me throughout the week, please be sure to follow my Facebook page at Tatyana White, WAFF 48. Take care, everyone. I will see you all back here next Saturday. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.